Artificial intelligence. Man, it is everywhere, right? You scroll through the news, and one headline is celebrating some incredible medical breakthrough, while the very next one is warning about a robot takeover. It feels like this amazing wave of innovation is all mixed up with a whole lot of fear. So that's what we're here to do today. Cut right through that noise. So, which one is it? Is AI a helpful tool we should be excited about, or is it some kind of harbinger of doom? Look, if you're feeling confused by all this, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we are going to work together to separate the real facts from the sci-fi fiction. All right, first up, let's talk about the hype versus the reality. We're going to start by knocking down some of the biggest myths that are floating around out there, so we can get a much clearer picture of what AI actually is today. And that brings us to what is probably the biggest myth of all. Myth number 1, the job taker. I mean, this is the fear that really hits closest to home for, well, for millions of us. We've all heard this story, right? It's a pretty powerful one. The idea that these robots and algorithms are coming to replace doctors and artists and programmers, basically everyone. But is that what's really happening? Well, the reality is, as it usually is, a lot more nuanced. You see, AI isn't really a job snatcher. It's more of a task automator. And that difference is absolutely crucial. It's not coming for a person's entire job, but for the repetitive, the boring, the data-heavy parts of it. Think about it like a chain reaction. Okay, so first, the AI automates the tedious stuff, sorting through spreadsheets or scheduling a million meetings. What happens next? Well, that frees up human beings to focus on what we do best: creative problem solving, big picture strategy, and actually connecting with other people. And from there, entirely new jobs start to pop up. Roles like AI trainers or prompt engineers, jobs that literally didn't even exist a few years ago. So it's not a mass layoff. It's more like a great job reshuffling. Okay, on to myth number 2, the digital mind. Now, this one feels like it's pulled straight from a sci-fi movie, and it really gets to the very core of what we even mean when we say AI intelligence. There's this really compelling idea out there, right? That we're right on the verge of creating a true digital consciousness, something with its own thoughts, its own feelings, maybe even its own motivations. But here's the reality check. AI today doesn't think like a human at all. It has zero consciousness, no real feelings, and no secret plans. What it is an incredibly powerful pattern matching machine. You know that witty or profound answer you get from a chatbot? It's not being clever. It's just predicting the most statistically likely sequence of words based on the billions of human conversations it's already analyzed. It's an amazing illusion of intelligence, for sure, but it's not the real thing. So, okay, if AI isn't a thinking machine, then what is it? Let's push past the myths and talk about AI's real superpower. Because this is where things get genuinely exciting. Here is the most important takeaway. At its very core, artificial intelligence is a tool that can process information at a scale and a speed that is just physically impossible for the human brain. That is its real superpower. And we're already seeing this kind of human augmentation in the real world. It's helping doctors spot signs of disease in MRIs that the naked eye might just miss. It's helping scientists massively speed up the discovery of life-saving drugs. In every single one of these cases, it's not about replacing the expert. It's about giving them a superpower, making them better, faster, and more effective. Of course, any tool this powerful is going to come with some risks. But the real dangers? They aren't the sci-fi fantasies of evil robot overlords. Nope, they're much more subtle, and in a lot of ways, much more immediate. 2 dangers really stand out. First, you've got algorithmic bias. Since AI learns from data that humans created, it can accidentally learn and even amplify our worst societal biases. And second, there's misinformation. Tools like deepfakes make it terrifyingly easy to create fake content that looks 100% real. You can see this bias in action. Some facial recognition systems have been shown to be way less accurate for people of color, and the reason is pretty simple. They were trained on datasets that didn't have enough diverse faces. This isn't some theoretical problem for the future. It's having real-world consequences for people right now. So the big question is, how do we handle these risks and actually build a better future with AI? The challenge is enormous, I'm not going to lie, but it is not impossible. There are clear steps we can take to get this right.
Look, there's no single magic bullet here. It's got to be a combination of things. We need clear, ethical rules from governments and the tech industry. We need diverse teams of people building this technology to make sure bias isn't accidentally coded in. And maybe most importantly, we all need to improve our own AI literacy so we can be more critical thinkers about the information we see every day.
And with all this talk about risk, it's so important to remember the immense potential for good. For instance, right now, AI is being used to analyze huge amounts of satellite data to watch for deforestation in real time. It's become this incredibly powerful tool for conservation. This is what it looks like when we point this amazing technology at some of our world's biggest challenges. And that really brings us to the final and most important idea to leave you with. AI's future is not set in stone. It's not some force of nature that's just happening to us. It's a technology that we are all collectively building and shaping this very moment. The story is still being written. So the real question is, how will we choose to write it?